Hello there. I have less hair. How is everybody doing? Are we enjoying ourselves? Is life easy? Yes, hello Majahadra. I'm getting progressively worse and worse at starting on time. I apologize. But yeah, we're gonna have fun today. It's Sutton, do you like it? Um so today we're gonna do a little bit not not very in-depth world building. Like we're not really gonna touch on um stuff like who the gods are in this world. No. What we're gonna do is we going to look at how we would use our locative cases instead of just working on most hardcore grammar stuff. It's gonna do some figuring out how to do measurements and like that. So give us a little bit more time, and I'll be starting a video. I'm better at starting on time than Sutton as well. I appreciate that. Hmm. I forgot. Need. I need my. Ay ay ay. Hi. Oh, jeez, I'm doing all the things. I'm just forgetting to do all of the other things. Did I just have a kid or something? Why does me having short hair mean I had a kid? Like I'm pulling my hair out? Is that what you're suggesting? Because no, I did not just have a kid. Unless Ever isn't telling me something. Ever. I think I'm gonna start off the YouTube video like this. Gonna the singular best hoodie in the world. Alright. Is their hair getting cut? Listen, Sutton Jr. is amazingly effective with a pair of scissors. Why? Why did you have to shave your head? Alright. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Can't stop me. Hello, YouTube. I've come to give you a quest. Quest is to watch me conline. So, if you want to watch me conline, then come along. We're going to be doing some like nitty-gritty world building things. And that obviously has to do with conlanging, because today a lot of what we're going to be working on, well, these next 3 weeks, a lot of what we're going to be working on is like measurement systems. So this week I want to work on for this week's video I want to work on physical measurements like distance, and expand from there. So yeah, let's hop right into it. Thank you, Majahadra, for the congratulations on the strangest intro. That is something I strive to accomplish. Okay, so environment. What would measurement fall under? Would that fall under social structures? I feel like that would fall under social structures. Okay. So, let's start with physical distance measurements. So there are a few measurement systems that I know of that have very interesting origins. Well, no, there's only one that I really know the origin for, and then another that I have like speculation. And one of the origins, oh, the one I'm thinking of when it comes to interesting origins is knots, as in like, ooh, let me zoom in. We can do body-based measurements. Another one I was thinking of is like knots. A measurement of nautical speed. I've heard that because it was like, the way I've heard it described, whether or not it's true, is that there would be a log tied behind a boat, and it would, depending on how fast they were going, it would trail farther behind. There was another rope that had knots in it. Knots. And however many knots back the log dragged, that's how many knots they were going. And they would put that in their log book, is the way I've heard it described. So, we could do something. We can do body-based measurements, correct? We can do that. I think. So I had the idea to do something like that for Kea, where it was like footfalls. Like, oh yeah, it's a footfalls, like a distance of however many steps. So We could measure in footfalls. And I think that's how feet came to be measured, like how we started measuring in feet. Um, and we can distinguish between length and distance, which I'll explain in a second. Measurement of time. It's been 6 adult fun times, aka either a minute or 3 hours. Sawton, this is why I ask you to be safe for YouTube, Sawton. Because I think I know what you're saying, but I don't like it. I don't know, and I don't want to check. I'm also aware that there is something called a cannon stick. Where we might call something canon because it's in the lore of the show, or it actually happened in the show. Where that originally came from something called a cannon stick, which was or no, it was just a cannon stick is the same thing as a meter. But at that point in time, they didn't know meters, so they would just use this thing called a cannon stick. But ultimately, what a cannon stick was, it was just a stick that they would use, and it had no like legit measurements, but this stick was what they would use to measure length or distance. So, what do we want to handle first? Actually, do we want to handle like long distances, like stuff like walking from one house to another, like walking across the road? How many feet versus how much space is there between the door and the window? Length. Do we want to which one do we want to handle first, and do we need a distinction? I'm coming up with ideas in my head for different systems. I just thought of one that would only really work in like a plainsy area. But imagine like if you measure distances in cups of water. This would only really work in like plains areas. But like imagine if it's like distance. Like, oh, how many cups of water? Pour out a cup of water. Get another. Then you just take a cup of water, pour it out, and then from the end of that water that you just poured out, pour out another cup of water. Continue. But we can touch on that later. So we're talking lengths. So smaller things, smaller distances ultimately. Um, I had the idea to measure in hands, like bam, 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 bam. Um, yeah, I know Maja Hadra. I'm just spitting out ideas. I'm throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. So hands, I like the idea of that. Or do we want to just go Hail Mary and take whole forearms? Just bam, bam, bam. Um, like trying to think of others. Another common measurement that I see, at least in art, is heads. Um, if we're talking character design, it's like different proportions. So like a properly proportioned. Why not both? I like that. Those could end up being not very even though, so I would like to see how we can do how we can if we settle on that. I would like to see if we could somehow. Because like here's a forearm, right? Like this whole thing. This whole dealio, and then here's the hand. Like it's not quite even. But we can pull an empirical or imperial system of measurement. Just have no. But yes, in art, in character design, a properly proportioned character would be like the same height as 7 of their heads stacked up on top of each other. Um, and then a more cartoony character would be like 3 of their heads stacked up on top of each other. Like stuff like that. We could measure in heads, we could measure in forearms, we can measure in hands. Um, you can do all sorts of stuff. Yes, it is ever. Adulting is very hard. Um, yeah. So, do we feel okay with this idea of measuring things in hands and forearms? Or does the distinction seem too small? Long story short, we were talking about measurements. Different ways we can measure things. Ooh. Yeah, that's my thing. Measuring chicken wings. Yes, ever. If a forearm is about 2 hands, it might not be worth it. See, okay, so here's a hand, right? Then here's a hand. And then we go from there. 3 hands is a little bit longer than a forearm. Bam, bam. Like it's a little bit longer than a forearm. So a forearm might be like 2.5 hands. So I think it's probably smart that we just break it down into forearms. So, oh, not normal text. Yeah, normal text. What the? Oh, wow. Okay. A point? You can call this a point measure. And I used middle finger, the thumb. So yeah, that's exactly, not exactly. Bam, bam. Yeah, so middle, thumb to middle. Okay, so we could do one of two things. We could kind of sit in this idea of forearms, or we can use hands, or we can use like fingers. I just thought of something. Different measurements. So no, we're not grabbing a ruler because we're not doing actual. So hear me out. I'm going to avoid doing the YouTube bad boy things. Oh, that's interesting. This. Oh no. Okay. What the heck? I was thinking about like doing a distinction. Oh my gosh. Um. So like I was thinking about doing this and then doing this, but this. So the distance between this is exactly one of these. So it that so, okay. So long story short, doing this is the same length as doing this. This. It's just different. Yeah, right? Someone's just gonna show up at my house and all of a sudden I'm dead. Um um oh ever. Oh ever. Oh ever. Um okay. So I think it's probably best that we stick with hands, 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 and forearm. Yeah, I think. Bam. Oh wow, yeah, two hands is almost a whole forearm. So yeah, I think we could do. So what would we want to stick with? Would we want to stick with forearms or would we want to stick with hands? Because both of those are pretty good. No, ever, behave. Oh so much, Alejandra. Thank you. Ever, you're being worse than Satan. How dare. Ever, stop! Again, I do not want to have to ban you. This is like a community guidelines thing, my guy. I like a hand measure plus leg or walking measure and a whole body measure. Okay. Okay, so yes, but it was highly suggestive, Ever. Um, but yes, so hear me out. So hear me out. In some sort of ancient time, we can. Oh my gosh! Oh, all of my muscles are so tight and so sore. Um. So like, I feel like it would be interesting if, in the more ancient times, you would use like a hand measurement for things that you hold specifically, or things that are okay to. You would get a leg or walking measurement. Um, so the walking measurement could be for like distance, specifically distance, and then height, like Ever just suggested. Height could be measured by bodies. Um, and then over time, all of those kind of just plunk right into one another. So you can have a body long, like oh, he is like 5 bodies away. Not very long, not very far away. He's like 5 bodies away, versus like 10 legs away, 10 footsteps away. So I think that could be interesting. The ancient or their use. Hand measurements for short distances or handheld items. Gait. Using gait measurements for thing. Yes. Oh my gosh. If there was no standardization, oh my gosh, that would be terrible. Yes, there is going to be standardization. Long story short, using gait measurements for things in walking distance, using whole body measurements for height. However, the modern systems, these have all used that. Yeah, so the ancient systems of measurement were more strict with their use, using hand measurements for short distances or handheld items, using gait measurements for things in walking distance, and using whole body measurements for height. However, in the modern systems, these have all become used as general measurements of distance. Not distance, length. Well, length and distance. Length or distance. I like this a lot. I like this. I think this does something. This does something good. I dig this. Do we have any? Do we have any other input that people want to give? Oh yeah, very good start. Um. So everybody likes this. Everybody's happy with this. All right. Well, I'm going to I'm going to finish out the video. So, YouTube, if you liked it, then thought the word standardized in there though. Okay. Okay. My bad. As general standardized measurements of length or distance. Okay. So, measurement systems. The ancient systems of measurement were more strict with their use, using hand measurements for short distances or handheld items, using gait measurements for things in walking distance, and using whole body measurements for height. However, in the modern systems, these have all become used as general, standardized measurements of length or distance. Alright. So, on that note, I shall, on that note, I shall say goodbye to YouTube. So, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. So, if you enjoyed it, go ahead and wait until next week. Break out your rulers so we can actually put some sort of values to these, I think. Or we'll just go into bigger measurements. So, alright. I hope y'all enjoyed. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe. Tell a construction worker about what you've learned today. Bet you won't. I bet you won't. So, have a good one. I'm out. I hear you, Majahadra. I hear you, Mahjahadra. Oh, I'm attempting. If there has ever been a question as to whether or not I was autistic, let it be known that I own Squishmallows. Alright, let's do this thing. Oh my gosh, seeing things is so hard. Oh. Welcome back. I am the platypus of ages. I'm here to speak with you about measurements. Oh, that's making it in. That's making it in. We're doing that one. That's the intro. So last week we did some smaller measurements, stuff like hand measurements, gait measurements, and whole body measurements. Now we haven't applied actual values to those, and I think we're not gonna get to that today because I want to look at larger measurements. I'm going to look at larger measurements of distance. So, let's hop right into it. So, we have a settlement or a culture that is we have a culture that is nomadic. We have a culture that's nomadic, which would mean, and which we have determined is leaving from the northern settlement to the smaller settlement, or the southern settlement, they would use rivers that go south. They would use southward flowing rivers, right? So, and upwards, going north, they would use these things that we've called rain camels. And those large animals would be used as like beasts of burden to take them their carts up to the northern settlement. Now, what's I had ideas. So we can my big thing is like my big thought is to measure using the river and to measure using like rain camel rest requirements. So these animals obviously would get tired from lugging these big carts around, right? So, hear me out. A measurement of distance could be this. So, Majahadra, what you're explaining there was the same sort of deal I'm coming up with this yes, camel walks, with this sort of deal. So the amount of time in which a single a time in which a single rain camel can walk without the time in which a single rain camel can walk without needing rest. Do we like this? I like this. Ever, what is your measurement idea? Comparing an item to another item with width and length. Yes. That's how rulers work. You compare an item to the ruler. Or are you talking about, like, if I were to say, like, a mouse length to my hand, like, my hand is 2 mouse lengths wide. I like camel walks. Camel walks are nice. Like a vase, and a chandelier. That's so. Here's the thing. I can see us kind of getting away with that sort of idea ever. Because, yeah. I can see us getting away with that idea only because Osugitri is a topic comment language. And what that means is that it states a topic and then says something about it, right? So if we're trying to measure something, yeah. I was just about to get to that, Majahadra. But I also know that y'all are slower. Something. You want to know how? Oh my gosh! I can't wait. I can't wait now that Apollo noticed this episode. Now that Apollo noticed this episode, we are I'm gonna have 2 weeks full of people responding to me shaving my hair. Sutton, why don't you just send them over here? Why don't you just send them over here? It'll make everything so much better for me and my YouTube channel to grow. Why are you stealing my viewers, Sutton? But yeah, it's kind of like what we're working on right now, Ever, is standardized measurements. So, Apollo, you're not supposed to say it! Oh, okay. But yes, these are supposed to be like standardized measurements. Stuff like feet, yards, meters. So, I like your idea, and we can kind of work on making it work in like actual language stuff. But yes, the out of context is always beautiful. But yeah, so before we move on, I'm intrigued. Who's... Oh my god. Am I about to...
How does it make you feel that people are walking me through my
context is always beautiful.
And then Apollo saying, Solar, I just noticed your hair. Yeah, this is typical Solar stream chat.
Solar, why are you in VC while you're streaming?
Because I want to know what's happening.
Solar just decides to join on stream.
Don't worry, Solar, I'm gonna work a little bit on language too.
Now I'm hearing him join through Sotan's stream.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get back to my video. If anybody wants to watch my stream, then come to my stream.
Don't worry, Solar.
Oh my god. Ah! Hey, Maitsu, how's it going? Oh, it hurts. Okay. So, the time in which a single rain camel can walk without needing rest. We need this in a short. I'm gonna make that a short, Son. Don't you worry. Yeah, the time in which a single rain camel can walk without needing a rest. What are we gonna call that? So, we're calling hand measurements, and thank you, Majahadra. I appreciate that. Are we gonna call gait measurements feet, foots, or steps? Do we want to call them steps? Do we want to call them paths? We can call them a whole bunch of things. I'll let y'all think about that. And then body, whole body measurements. Let's call these heads, because it's like the distance between the foot to the head. Right? And then what are we gonna call? You like tabs? As in totally accurate battle simulator, or? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Apollo. I appreciate it. I don't know. I'm a little against just using the word body for like a measurement of body length. So I'm thinking like heads. Perhaps this one. So what we can do a little bit of word building here. Steps. We can do a little bit of word building here. We can say that like there's a word that specifically refers to a camel walking. Round. I think that there should be a specific word for camels dragging along a cart, right? And then you can say for help, you can say that that distance is one of those, right? I like that idea. So don't ask Sutton that ever. Sutton doesn't know anything. Do I have a word for? I do not have a word for rain camel. We want to make a word for rain camel. Um, I don't. No. Okay, Sutton. Here's something that you're gonna learn about me. I don't want a kid. I don't want kids. You add a cart to the camel, the distance gets shorter. Correct. Correct. Um. Let's come up with a word for rain camel. Ultimately. Ultimately, it should be made up out of 2 roots, or 2 or 3 roots, but let's come up with a quick word. Um. Uh. Ah. Ngazuru. We can do Ngazuru. Ngazurui. Oh my. Of course. Of course. Oh yeah, because I did X Sampa. It's camel step and camel cart step. Ngazoo. Ngazoo. Okay, what about Ngazur? Ngazol. I like that. What if the camel step and camel cart step are together? Oh my gosh. So Ngazol. So that is a rain camel. Uh Ngazol. Ngazol. Uh Zuru. Ngazuru. Ngazol. Okay. Now let's come up with the word. So actually, I think I have a word for to go. It's da. So, oh Sawton, I just read that and I don't like the thought of you having 3 accounts. So Ngazuru da. Ngazuru der. Ngazuda. Ngazuda. Gehen? Nein, nicht gehen. I mean, ja. Ja, gehen, aber nicht gehen. Um, then we do this. Der. Step. Distance. So, Azu. Azuder. Yes, Ever, what is your question? Okay, so ngazude. That. Ngazu. That. Oh, so wenn wir poetisch machen. I know all of the words. I know all of the words together, I think. I just don't know what you mean, Apollo. So the first person to come up with the idea of creating a language. Yes. Ngazuda. Ngazuda. Different from a time in a so ngazo because now I have names for them. So so different from the time in which a ngazo can walk with a cart. Ngazo. Please tell me that that's not a rude word somewhere. I really like it. It's a pretty sounding word. It's a cellar door. It's a sailor door. But yeah. So we have that. Yes, very hydrated. Like Urch. Urch. It does not look like urch. Of which I just realized that could have been a root. Oh my gosh. Okay, on that note, on the fact that I possibly could have said an extremely offensive word, I am going to cut for YouTube. So, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. I honestly might not make this chunk into a YouTube video. I might slap this into in. So yeah. Whatever, if I make a YouTube video out of this, then I make a YouTube video. So, YouTube, if you enjoyed, then do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, And you know what? If you see a camel, tell the camel that you love. Tell the camel. Have a good one, y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh. Man. No, ever. No Dr. Pepper. Drink water. Do it. So yeah, we did a thing. What should we do for the last video? I have an idea as to what I'm going to do to cover myself up. I believe involves a little. Yes, I like. But what? What should we do for the last video? Did distance? Did length? Should we do time? Help you. Ah! Oh my. Ever drink water. Just grab the mask from the closet. What mask from the closet? What mask from the closet, son? You know the one. Say goodbye to cotton candy. Man. So, while y'all are suggesting what the next video is going to find, to hide my eye. Okay, ever. Like, I see your point in saying time differences around the world, but like right now we're focusing on one singular language, so it would make more sense to do time for a singular culture in the world. I can't see anything. I can see that there's a light that way, but I cannot see anything. Um, you like the bag. Should I put There is no way it is 9. Okay, yeah, never mind. Hadra Hadra, I thought you were Satan. Should I wear this and then wear the hood over top of it, or should I wear this and then wear the hood underneath of it? I think I'm gonna do this and then wear the hood underneath of it, or over top of it. If I can. Yeah, Ever got me this, and it's an amazing bag. I love the design. But like, mistakes were made. Okay. And okay. Okay. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Hello. Due to recent developments regarding Satan, I am now hiding my face from every video from here on out. I blame Satan entirely, and not. Oh my gosh, I can't breathe. Oh. Oh my gosh. I couldn't keep that up for much longer. Oh my gosh. So yeah. Solar looking good. Welcome, YouTube. We have fun here. So today we're going to be working on time. Time measurements, stuff like that. And I believe I have a good friend that can help. Yeah, Satan, clip that whole thing, that whole intro, and then send it to me. I need to post that. Yes, I have a friend. Somewhere in here, right here, actually. So, there's one. So, here's one that we can, here's a map, a semantic map that I can use, to start deriving measurements for time. Another common one. So what we can do. Let's start with a measurement for a day versus a night. Do we have a word for sun? Have a word for sun. If not, we can make one. So give me some stems. Give me a root. Give me a root. Give me a root for sun. You can do Juanas. Or Juan, Huiza. Huza. Or Huza. Yes! No. Huga. Huga. There we go. I like that one. Huga. Huga. What happens with Huga? Hueg. Hueg. Oh no. I got sent something by Majahadra. So Hueg. Hueg is hold up, where did that come from? Hueg. Where did that E come from? So let's fix this quick. Thank you, Majahadra. I appreciate it. What? Okay, well, whatever. I don't care enough right now, so we're just gonna do this. Huga. So, dog. Dog. Okay. Dog. Huga. Dog. Dog. Sun. Day. Um. Why is my chat like this? Okay. So do we want the word for sun? Do we want the word for day to also mean sun? Or do we want to invent or introduce another word for day? Or sun, rather. Do we want what is the modern word for day to also mean sun? Or do we want that whole meaning to be lost? Because we can do like a, do I have a word for light? No, I do not have a light, but I can do like a sort of daylight thing. So, höga, tu, tu, tu nu höga. And that could be the word for sun, right? Tinu hög, hög, tinu hög. That could be a word for sun. So day. Be awake. Working. Let's come up with a better word for this. To his. That. No, not. Hyog. 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 I like that. Hyog. So light. Sun. To shine. Really. Deep soda. Hyog. Hyog. I like that. I like Hyog. So, höga, word for sun, or sun god. Okay, before Sutton just sent me something, so you know we gotta check it out, right? So I'm gonna create a word for moon. Ooh. I'll create a word for moon. Dradi. We can do dradi. Dradi. So that would end up with it, like. Oh, what? Well. Oh my gosh. Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, that would be Dodge. 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 Okay. So, let's look at what Sutton sent me. Oh, Sutton sent me so many things. Yeah. This... Well, ever. It would also help if I had enough words to measure things. Moon. So here's the fun thing. There are 8 moons in this world. So do we want a specific name for each one of them? Like one could be Dudge, the other one, another one can be Funar, another one can be Dekir. Like, do we want entirely different names or do we want similar names that do we want similar names that are all derived? But for now, let's not forget where we were. We're working on time. And so here's the deal with, there are 8 moons. It's not like there are 8 phases to the moon. It's there are 8 moons. And then each of them has phases. Or some of them might have phases, some of them might not. Well, yeah, it would make sense that they all have phases. Well, whatever. What is it called? What's that called? Not an orbit, but is it a rotation? Axial rotation? I'm just gonna call it that. Okay. A month. That's no, no, Mahadra, that's a little too big. A rotation and rotation. Big. Right. Dodge. Dodge. Oh, son. What? What am I hearing you out for? I didn't know that I was having a wedding ever. A day. Broken. Half days. Which we'll come up with a name for. Nights. Okay. A rotation is measured in 2 parts. A day, Hjörg, or Hjörg, rather. Hjörg. No, I meant a rotation of the planet. Hjörg. Is that where we got our months from, Majahadra? A rotation of the moon? Oh my gosh, it's a lunar calendar. Broken down into half days. Okay, a rotation is measured in 2 parts. A day, Hjörg, and a night, Dodge. These are then broken down into half days, something, and then half nights, something else. So yeah, I think I'm out of water. I am. That sucks. I'll do it, Sutton. I'll do it. Oh, y'all can't see it! Y'all can't see it! Oh, I was gonna put him in timeout. I was gonna put Sutton in timeout. A rotation of the solar system? 420? No, it's not 420, my bro. Bet. Um, So here's the deal. I don't know how. Oh my gosh, everything hurts. I don't know how attuned to the universe that these people. I forgot. Sun has multiple. I don't know how well attuned the this culture would be to the universe. Like the ancient Greeks were very attuned to the universe. I don't know how well, like the ancient Greeks were attuned very well to like the solar system, what have you. So I don't know how well attuned these guys would be to. I'm. Do we want? So I'd imagine it would be like other planets, like when those planets show up. A year at max, then multiple of years if necessary. Yeah. Right? So, what would we call a year? Are we going to do a lunar calendar, considering that there are 8 moons? Or are we going to do a solar calendar? Seasons are common time periods, yes. So, are we going to do a lunar calendar, or are we going to do a solar calendar? Or a lunisolar calendar? We can get away with that. We could do like a pretty complex method of determining months then, if we do the lunar calendar. Like depending on the phases of each moon, like if one moon is in its new moon, then you consider that moon like overrules all other moons, like all sorts of different rules. I like that idea. But so climate change does not affect time. Okay. So a lunisolar calendar is very complex. What it does is it measures seasons. Long story short, it measures the time around the sun and something regarding the moons. Or a moon. The Arabic calendar is a lunar calendar. Well, the Semitic calendar is a lunar calendar. But can I get some input? I highly regret timing out Satan. Oh no, I can't untime out them. I can't untime them out. To be fair, you will likely have one Earth moon. The other moons will be orders smaller. So a lunar influence calendar would only really. That's fair. That's fair. So, hear me out. So, hear me out. On that note, on that note, I'm gonna say goodbye to you. I've just learned that sun, there's actually the chaos was this video. Please like, share, subscribe, all of the things. Please spare me my sanity. I think I'm just gonna hang out for the rest of the stream. I wanna look at this clip. I blame Sultan entirely. And not. Oh my gosh, I can't breathe. Oh. Oh my gosh. I couldn't keep that up for much longer. Oh my gosh. I blame Sultan entirely. And not. Oh my gosh. Oh, and now that I'm not doing anything, there are more. Now that I'm not doing anything, there are more viewers on this video. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess yeah, y'all are getting special content that's not going to YouTube. So, what etymology of half? Side. I like that. Oh my gosh, can you tell that I visit Sweetwater? So, side. Do I have a word for side? Let's come up with a word for side. It's against terms of service, or not terms of service, but it's against the what is it? Oh my gosh. Oh, what is it? Community guidelines. It's against community guidelines for you to make multiple accounts, for you to view your own content. But they really can't. I mean, it can. So, like, if you're using it to view your own content, then it's, which is dumb. But let's come up with a word for half. Harf, harf, or herf. Herfy. Okay. Her. That should end up just being half. Af. It's not the law. Okay, so do we want to just say af is the word for whole? Or the word for body? Do I have a word for body? I think I do. Do Abba. Which is then. So I think. So Affy. Or Af. Af will just be like. Top. Head. Round. Affy. Or Af. And then side can be Ol. Because owl exists. So Ol. So Ol can be half. There's at least 5. There's at least 5 of you, so. You know what? Let's do like a. Okay. Hole? Um. Okay. Hear me out. Oi. Why is it's the did? Why? Now I wonder is it's the did. Is it's the did? Oil? Or Honil? So, let's say hon. Let's say that there's some derivation. A proto word that might have looked something like phone or phone, right? Proto word that might have looked something like phone. And then do some derivation. That would end up being like Poeli. It's the same deal with like Auli and Hanas down there. So side be Hueli and Fonaz. Yeah, Fonaz would be something else. I don't know what it would mean. Hueli. Oel. Oel. Okay, I can get behind that. Then Fonaz. Okay. And next week, I do want to work on Next week I want to work on some stuff for the proto language, right? I want to work on like some. I want to work on some phonotactics for the proto language. So like, why did I use H instead of F? Well, that's because H is the voiced version of F. Um, but yeah. Um, I really don't have anything else to say. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here. If y'all are okay with it. Choose. There we go. Now we finally have a word for choose. Alright. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. I hope y'all enjoyed the chaos. Yeah. So yeah, if you like the stream, do all the things, like, share, subscribe, blah 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 blah. Have a good one, y'all.